Inhumans, and we're going to start with Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. full spoiler talk for Season 3, Episode 1, Laws of Nature. Let's see what IMDb has to say about this. Director Phil Coulson and Agent Daisy Johnson leading the charge as S.H.I.E.L.D. searches the world for more powered people in the aftermath of their epic battle with the Inhumans. However, Coulson and the team soon find out that they are not the only group looking for these new Inhumans.
Pretty good description. That was one of the better ones.
Yeah. Because they literally, for this one, could have just said, so there's Inhumans, and
some shit happens and Daisy's there.
Some shit happens, and there's a Sonic the Hedgehog looking motherfucker walking about.
No. Reyna was Sonic the Hedgehog, so this guy has to be Shadow the Hedgehog.
Okay, Shadow the Hedgehog.
Or Knuckles.
Yeah, Knuckles. Yo. Gonna rap about Pumpkin Hill. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, there are a bunch of stuff just gonna happen. I guess just to start off at the beginning, I mean, just kind of assume time jump. You know, it's been a summer, so it's been a few months. A lot of characters are in different places. I have to say, I was kind of surprised by how underwhelmed most every character was that that Simmons got eaten by a black rock thing.
Well, I guess that's the biggest indicator that time has passed. That they're mostly past it, but it did seem a little bit odd how it was just sort of casually brought up like halfway through the episode when they started talking about it. It was like, I feel like everyone should be a little sadder still.
Or a little bit more freaked out.
Well, I wonder if they were also worried about people jumping on because of the human stuff. Maybe people that haven't watched Season 2, if they played too much in continuity with what just happened at the end of Season 2, that some people were like, what the fuck is happening? And instead they kind of just picked up and took off for new audience members.
Yeah, and the way that they do that is by just starting right off with a new Inhuman, some guy who drinks some fish oil, or took a fish oil tablet.
Yeah, Melty Man is I'm going to call him.
Melty Man, yeah. So yeah, at the end of last season, whenever they blew up the remains or the ruins of the it's the Kree. This one, right? Yeah, because scrolls they can't use. So whenever they blew that up, I guess it polluted.
Well, no, remember we seen it. It was like a scene at the end where we seen the detergent and the sea.
Oh yeah, I know. It's just
well, it polluted the ocean and it got into the supply of like these pills or whatever.
Yeah.
I just think it's really funny, really, because
it's kind of a dumb, cheesy thing.
It's just like, okay, sure. I mean...
Well, we kind of saw that in Incredible Hulk. I don't know if you guys remember that.
Yeah, that's how Stan
Bruce Banner's
died.
blood gets... Yeah. Same
true.
idea.
Yeah. Yeah, so, we're getting new Inhumans popping up, and Daisy is...
I'm calling her Sky. I'm not switching to Daisy.
No?
I'm not buying it. No, she's Sky.
I mean, at first I thought it was kind of weird how she just kind of switched. But I guess when you think about it, it's like, well, after all the shit with her dad and stuff, and then it's like, well, now she's like a new person, so I kind of get it.
Yeah, well, they just want to push the character too. Like for me, it's easy because I'm familiar with the
See, I feel like the only reason why they're doing it is because they want the name recognition from the comics now, but it doesn't feel natural to me, so I'm going to be stubborn about it and call her Sky.
Anyway, so they extract Melty Man, and they talk him through shit, blah blah blah, and I don't know, nothing really comes of his point of view other than just providing exposition for somebody who's never seen the show before.
Oh, Sky did have a pretty badass entrance when she we just see the guys like flying across the screen.
Yeah, she's rocking the gauntlets and she's rocking her new suits, and she's obviously a little bit. I like the fact that they mix things up. She's partnering up with Mac now, and it seems like both of them have a partnership thing going, and that seemed to work pretty well. Which is not two characters you necessarily thought of working together, but now all of a sudden I was like, oh, it makes sense.
Well, that's what I like about the family dynamic they've got, is that almost any pair of characters now can be together, and it gives you some interesting chemistry.
Right.
And I really like that. Also, speaking of Mac, we got some quality references to his axe from last season in this episode.
Yep.
He misses his axe. He feels naked without his axe, and I think that's quite important. Important character development that should be carried forward.
Well, I thought Coulson had it up on the wall.
I didn't notice that. Oh, that's cool.
Nice.
Yeah, because it took his arm.
Yeah. Speaking of Coulson, we should talk about his lack of hand.
They did exactly what I thought they would do. They gave him a robot sort of hand so that he can just wear a glove. So when they're filming, it's not a huge issue. And then occasionally you'll see a special effect where he's missing his hand when he's charging his USB hand.
Or whenever he rips it off.
Occasionally he could do something with it if the plot needs it.
Yeah. To be fair, that made sense though that he could get out of handcuffs because of that.
Worked.
I mean,
true. Guess you guys didn't do all your research. That doesn't affect that. Yeah, I guess that was probably the most interesting scene was on the subway.
Yeah, because the woman they introduced, whose name is Rosalind. Roz, which is interesting to me because there was a character in the MCU named Rosalind who goes by Roz. So I was wondering if that was a tease for that. But I thought it was pretty cool that the fact that they kind of set it up like, oh, it's just going to be like fucking Hydra again, this fucking organization that's going to be against them. They're going to be, fighting to get to something again.
At first, I was getting S.H.I.E.L.D 2.0 vibes again. I was like, I'm doing something so similar to that already. But I really liked the twist where it was like, they both realised neither of them are the ones killing the Inhumans.
Yeah, and they're basically on the same side. They're just maybe a different methodology or approach to doing their thing. But I also like the chemistry between the two characters, between Coulson and Roz. Like, it seems like both of them are similar characters, just on different sides. So that seemed. I thought it was a pretty cool addition to this season.
Yeah, totally worked for me too. And then also, I mean, if you've looked at any of the promotional art for the season, it looks like Lincoln is here to stay.
Yeah.
So, even
they
though
made him a series regular, I think, toward the end of last season.
I'm not overly thrilled about that. He's not captured me as of yet.
Yeah, but it was cool to see him and Daisy team up and have like her shooting her power and electricity going at the same time. It was just cool to see them use the powers in conjunction.
It's definitely more comic booky already, just from.
Oh god, yeah, just that whole scene where Shadow the Hedgehog shows up. And
who I have to admit, it still does look a little bit silly, but I mean they kept him in darkness as best they could, so that was a wise choice.
Right.
Yeah, it was mostly silhouettes on him, and then he was just melting through walls or whatever. So, which I guess I don't totally understand how his powers work, but he just seems to
teleport.
Say fuck this to whatever. Well, it's not really teleporting, is it? I mean,
he makes like a portal. He jumps through it.
Because that's how he killed that one guy. We seen him kill. He made like a portal in his heart almost.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
And it's just in the walls and shit.
Well, it's just then the portal leaves a hole in the wall.
Yeah, it's like a it's kind of think of the time travel in Terminator. It leaves destructive area.
Yeah.
So that's how I picked up on it. I enjoyed the episode. I thought it was just like a sort of solid, next part of the story, setting stuff up. The stuff that really I was really interested in though, the scene with Fitz when he comes back. I mean, the stuff with him getting the scroll or whatever from the guy was, whatever. I mean, it's just Fitz being a bit more of a badass, and that's fine. But the scene where he comes back and he actually, I think the episode ends in this almost, not counting the post-credit scene, is him get into
wailing at
the monolith,
and
he's just like wailing at it. He doesn't care if it kills him. He's just like, give me your back where I should do something, you piece of shit. Not that he swears, but he may as well have. You get that feeling as he's wailing on it. It's a good bit of acting. I like that.
Yeah, it was really, it just felt like he really was feeling that frustrated with the situation. He's been really good in certain moments. Like that scene with Ward last season, where he almost kills him. Like that was a really good fucking scene too.
I mean, him shouting makes him the most Scottish sounding he's ever sounded on the show. So that was cool. But then, of course, we got the post-credit scene where we see that Gemma is in the Phantom Zone or something similar.
Or just
she's on another planet.
Yeah. I mean, maybe Thanos is real nearby, and he's just gonna stop in for a quick chat.
Well, wherever she's been there for a few months now, so she's got food of some kind. She's Unless it's a time change like the Hell Dimensions in Buffy, in which case, fair enough. But
yeah, so apparently she's like displaced in time or in space or something. Like they were saying some different shit, and then there was a nice little Ant-Man reference as well.
there was a lot of references. In fact, actually, another cool thing is they brought back William Sadler to play the president.
Yes,
who
from Iron Man 3.
We've seen in Iron Man 3 and we heard him in Winter Soldier as well. So that was nice. That was a nice bit of connective tissue.
Right.
And I like William Sadler. He's a
and they
cool
mentioned Avengers: Age of
character.
Ultron. They mentioned the city coming down.
Yeah, they mentioned all that. They mentioned Thor: The Dark World as well because it referenced the events in London. And that would be the other sort of big thing that required, like, media attention, I guess.
Yeah.
And that was just all really cool stuff. It was like, all this shit's happening, so we're going to take steps to do this, blah blah blah. And they mentioned him.
I really started, whenever they had the president speaking about this, the first thing that clicked in my mind was, okay, by the time Civil War comes out, like, Civil War has to mention Inhumans, right?
Yeah, I'd imagine it does.
I mean, the president just made a speech about it.
Right.
So, like, how could it not be a part of whatever superhero registration act they
That
come
was
up
something Feige was saying this week. Actually, he was interviewed and he was saying that the movies will reference the TV shows at
with? Yeah,
some
they were
point.
like, inevitably, like, it has to
But
happen.
I mean, he said that it's been difficult so far, and I completely understand this because the movie, you write your movie like a year before the TV season that's going to be on just before the movie comes out is even being written, because the TV is like such a quick turnaround.
Right.
They make like 2.5 seasons of TV in the time it takes to make one movie, so they have to plan it so far in advance. So the TV shows can really easily react to the movies because they can do it in a quick sort of turnaround. But the movies, in order to react to the TV shows, have to know what they're doing like years in advance.
Right, so that's why I'm saying, I mean, like, think about, okay, when did they announce the Inhumans movie? Like, it was at the same time that they announced Captain America Civil War.
Yeah,
it was that same announcement where they gave out the lineup for Phase 3.
Yeah, so, and I think at that point, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. had just started its second season?
I think that was fall-winter of 2014.
Okay, so, I mean, that was enough time for them to turn around and get Spider-Man back and throw him into Civil War. I would imagine that maybe if they were going into Season 2 of S.H.I.E.L.D. going, hey, start doing Inhuman stuff because we were going to start seeding it until we eventually get
I wouldn't surprise me if this was the plan when they started the show, when they first came up with it, and they already were thinking, right, well, this is what we're going to do in Phase 3. Obviously, we didn't know any of this at this point because they weren't ready to announce any of it, but I imagine a lot of this was where we're really going to see the fruits of the crossover stuff with the show, because a lot of the stuff, because we said this in Season 1, that everything up until Winter Soldier happened was kind of churning its wheels because they were waiting for that to happen so they could do the cool stuff in the show.
Yeah.
But I'm wondering if there's a larger game in mind where the whole thing was setting up the mystery of who's Skye, what is her parents, where is she from. Season 2, oh, it's Inhumans, fuck, right, big deal, I'm wondering if all this was sort of like, this is what the show is really going to be about, because it's all going to assist the movies when we get there, and
Yeah, and so now, and this is the first time we're also ahead of the movies in terms of this, Season 3 is dealing with stuff that hasn't been remotely mentioned in the movies yet.
Yeah, well, that was as soon as they started talking about Inhumans, and they even started talking about Kree, it was like, okay, that's been kind of referenced in the movies at this point, and certainly when we got to Guardians it was, but it was very, like they started touching on stuff, because when the show started it was just referencing stuff that had already been brought up. It was Hydra, it was Chitauri, whatever,
Yeah, I mean, those first 5 episodes were, oh, hey, we gotta go retrieve something some Asgardian left.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's just go deal with this shit.
The other thing, too, is, like, you can't ignore 5 powered individuals getting together for the show called Defenders on Netflix side either. Like, you have to, at some point, you don't notice there's 5 other guys running around doing all crazy shit.
Yeah, I'm sure all of this will play into Civil War in some capacity. Even if it's just small stuff, I'm sure it'll have to be mentioned in some way. Certainly when we get to Infinity War, I can see everyone being somewhat involved with the fight, because it's such a big epic thing. But
I mean, really, when I just think there are a bunch of Inhumans running around now. Anybody could just randomly become an Inhuman. It feels like that's a way bigger thing that would inherently affect all other shows.
So I think might happen with that. I don't know if we'll get many of the characters in Civil War per se, but like I could see like someone new superpowered shows up, and I could see someone like Cap asking, "Are you an Inhuman?" Like that's how they'll reference it, like because it's known in the world at this point.
Yeah.
So they'll ask that question: Is do you like who's a character who's going to show up? Like say Captain Marvel shows up, and like, "Are you an Inhuman?" Well, we know she's not, but he may ask
part
that.
Kree, actually.
Oh, she's part Kree.
That's how she gets her powers.
But it would be a valid question for him to ask, because at this point in the universe, like that would be an explanation as to why lots of people have powers. So I can see that like popping up.
I was thinking with Spider-Man even.
Yeah.
Well, it also kind of stands in for like, I mean, at the beginning of the Civil War run, isn't it? Like it's something happens with a couple of mutants fighting, right? Wasn't it like Cannonball?
Some of Civil War.
Yeah, Civil War at the beginning of Civil War.
Yeah, it's a young event. It's the young
at the school, right?
Yeah, it's the Warriors, and so they're filming a reality TV show, which I thought was like super spot on. Like that's something that we would, if we had a bunch of young people being with powers, we would have a reality show. Absolutely. So they're filming, and they're like, "Oh, we're gonna take this guy out. He's like a level A villain, you know, we're like C tier." And they go try to get him, but his power is that he explodes, and so they accidentally explode an entire school.
Yeah.
So there's like 85 kids that are killed instantly.
Which, I mean, that would be a dark opening to the movie if they did that. Like something like that.
Yeah, but it has to be something tragic enough to spur all of this, you know? And, you know, they can just put Inhumans in that place, because one of the common arguments for a while that people were saying were, well, in Civil War, there are going to be so many, like, everybody already knows who Captain America is and who Iron Man is and who all these other people are.
Identities.
Yeah, but if it's, hey, anybody could have these powers or whatever, you know, it's a little bit more of, hey, maybe I'd like to keep it secret, and that's my deal.
It's a worry, because before it was just a group of 5 people, and the government already knows they're powered. Now it's out of control. It's spiraling and hitting people all over the world. So obviously, regular people feel like, holy shit, my neighbor could become a Inhuman. I don't even know it.
Yeah. But I mean, we get a whole lot of setup in this episode just for how big Inhumans are going to be for the whole season. I mean, that's kind of the hook of it now. It's less Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and more agents of finding Inhumans.
Right, and that kind of fits with my theory that I think the Most Wanted show is going to be more just humans and actually S.H.I.E.L.D., like maybe not S.H.I.E.L.D. agents, but whatever, just agents without powers.
Mockingbird.
Right.
Speaking of them, actually, I really like the fact that Hunter's on like, I'm going to hunt that fucking Agent Ward down, and I'm going to kick his ass for what he did. Like
something that's really weird is there's a Mockingbird comic book that came out last week, and Hunter's in that.
Interesting.
Really?
And they reference Clint Barton, because the issue picks up with them in bed together, and Mockingbird says something like, Clint, you're cuddling me. Stop. Wake up. And then she wakes up, and you see her face just kind of cringe, like, oh shit. And then it lights, and it's Hunter, and she goes, "Did you just call me Clint?" So it's interesting that the books are also.
So they're establishing that she might have had a past with him. So, like in the movie verse, like that could be like an awkward moment when they run into each other, because you know Clint's got like a family, and
well, she could be hiding that from Hunter the entire time. Like he doesn't even know.
You used to date an Avenger. What the hell?
But yeah, I mean, overall, I'd say it's a pretty good start. Nothing mind-blowing. I mean, I think we were more impressed with last season's opening, but they definitely spent a lot of money on showing the fancy new plane.
Yes, they did.
Yeah,
at the beginning.
Which is cool.
Now they have more moving. Yeah, it looks. I think the show looks better, just in general.
Does. I also, I mean, obviously May's not gone forever, but I think it's interesting that they're sticking to the idea that she did go on a break for a while, so she might be gone for 3 or 4 episodes until shit hits the fan and she's called in because they need the cavalry, as she's referred to.
Yeah, I mean, we go through the whole episode without seeing
May or Ward.
I mean, May and Ward, and then only very briefly Simmons. So I mean, that's 3 of the main cast members just not even really a part of the action. So,
but I love that Mac and Bobby and Hunter are all full established main cast now. They're all part of the main team.
Yeah,
that's good. I like them all, which is why it's going to be kind of upsetting when 2 of them leave to do their own show. But I mean,
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, we'll see how. Maybe they're probably might be crossing over a lot, so we'll see how it ends up there.
Yeah. All right, so that's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. We will definitely be covering that all season, so stay tuned for that.